Welcome to another episode where we get to meet amazing people doing great changes in this world to make it a better place. Hi, I'm your host, Jennifer, and I'm so excited to have you here today to be able to meet a wonderful healer in this world who's helping support our children, our families, and our communities find resilience during these challenging times. So without ado, I am going to introduce you to our amazing Lee Artherton. Hello, good to have you here today.
Thank you so much. It is wonderful to be here. It's such an honor to work with people to try and bring this crazy corona world to something a little bit more peaceful.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. That is really, yeah. I'm sure you have so much to share in terms of what you've been noticing in your communities, the people that you serve. Would you like to sort of share a little bit about your story first in terms of how you got to where you are today in terms of what you do? It's such an amazing gift that
Oh,
you give to everyone. Yeah.
absolutely. It's a exciting journey that my life has been on. Um, Began when I took a job as a church secretary. Uh, Having been told that a secretary would be my career for my life. Um, I was a member of the church, had some level of faith, but nothing, we went to church every Sunday because I had kids and that's what you're supposed to do. Um, my involvement as secretary really helped my faith take root and then wings. I outgrew that job. And when I gave my notice to the board of deacons in my church, the people who oversee my role, one of the gentlemen in the group jumped up, ran over to me and said, "I am so excited that you're finally going to seminary. You're going to make a great minister." And I said, "What?" I said nothing about that. And so out thinking about it in the weeks that followed, I realized, yeah, I think God is calling me to ordained ministry. Went to, and it was wonderful the way it was affirmed along the way. Uh, Graduated from seminary, had met along the way a woman who has become not only a colleague, but one of my best friends. She knew that she wanted to go into hospice ministry. And she kept saying to me, "You should go into hospice. You'd make a great hospice chaplain." No, no way. No thanks. But then after we graduated, we were both ordained. She was following her dream. She was taking a 2-month vacation, and I was in between jobs. She said, "Can you at least just cover my vacation?" And as they say, the rest is history. I spent the next 10 years, 10 to 15 years off and on in hospice because I was taking care of my dad. But yes, I became a hospice chaplain. Um, Also became a fire chaplain, and during all that time was becoming a certified life coach. And when I lost my last job was when I said, I need to bring these two worlds together and really grow what I'm doing at Coach Rev at the Crossroads. And so here I am as a end of life and a grief coach.
It's fantastic what you do. You have such a multifaceted approach to helping heal our families, our children, our communities. And um, there's often gaps, right? When we're dealing with grief, there's all different levels of grief, different reasons why we grieve. And it's so nice to know that you have that well rounded aspect of how to best manage and get through those difficult, challenging times.
Mhm.
I'm thinking right now too with COVID. I mean, there's so many layers of grief that so many people are going through, from just change, the grief of change, all the way to, God forbid, people losing family members and animals in the process of all this too. And it's
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm hoping we can speak a little bit more about that.
A well-known name in the industry is Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who talks about the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And when her book first came out, people understood it to be this is how to grieve. And it's important for people to know that everyone grieves differently. And one person might go through those stages in that order. And another person might do it upside down in the totally opposite order. And any way you're doing it is fine.
Oh, that's really powerful. Any way you're doing it is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because again, it's that self-compassion piece, isn't it? Where we're so hard on ourselves and we think that we have to be a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Put the mask on, get through
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, some wise words. I'm also curious about there's when you talk about different stages of grief, there's also different kinds of grief. Maybe we can speak to that a little bit more in terms of what people might be going through right now with COVID.
Right. So often when we hear the term grief, we think someone has had a person that they've loved die. But grief is so much more than that. For many people, myself included, our pets are our family. So when you lose your pet, you might go through the same intensity of grief as someone whose mom or dad died, and that's okay. There's grief, especially in COVID-19, around the loss of so much. Loss of jobs, loss of financial security, loss of homes, but also the loss of community, which is huge. Humans are made to be tribal. We are tribal entities and we need to be with our people. And not only are we isolated from friends, often from coworkers as well, but even from our family, those who are closest to us. So the grief is on many, many different levels, many different areas, and more people grieving than at any time in our history.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What does that look like on an energetic level when you're having a whole bunch of people that are in that state of mind and sentiment? Yeah.
Yeah. The energy. That's a good question. I find that people's energy has definitely decreased across the board in a lot of ways. When people come together, there's a heaviness in the air that I look at and I see grief. And I try and bring and encourage others to bring, where do you find the hope in the midst of it all? What can you reach for? And try and take off some of that weight. We all have backpacks with big boulders in them. Let's lay some of them aside.
I love that analogy. Take off some of those boulders, get rid of them.
Yes.
I love it.